The 21st century digital age has been defined by rapidly evolving technology advances and concepts.
The tool of information and the C2 systems are working in monthly cycles with implications of milliseconds in the warfighter's decision-making, both in the offense and defensive use of those systems.
Consequently, joint warfighters and homeland security forces find it increasingly challenging to identify and evaluate proposed information sharing capability solutions designed to fill their operational capability gaps.
We all fight as a team. It's not going to be just a joint fight, it's going to be at least a coalition fight and probably a NATO fight included in that. So it's very important that we make sure that the capabilities that we all procure work together in that environment.
But there is an event that can help them more effectively and efficiently evaluate the solutions they seek. The Coalition Warrior Interoperability Demonstration, better known as CWID, is an annual event where industry is provided an opportunity to demonstrate information sharing technologies that are designed to fill operational command and control and battle space awareness capability gaps. The worldwide demonstrations focus on technology discovery, risk reduction, and interoperability assessment.
Well, I think it's important that we provide an environment where we can interoperate, test the interoperability of our technologies, and not so much just U.S. technologies, but our allies' technologies and their industry as well.
This Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff annual event provides great value at minimal cost to its stakeholders. CWID is a global interoperability event allowing technology to be demonstrated at multiple sites in multiple countries. It allows for the discovery of leading-edge technologies to fill warfighter and agency gaps.
We go through and make sure that we have all the requirements, all the gaps that our Homeland Defense, Homeland Security partners have. We talk to DHS, we talk to the Coast Guard, we talk to the National Guard Bureau. We talk to any state that wants to play in the upcoming CWID to see what their shortfalls and gaps are.
It provides a risk reduction venue, allowing for spiral development of fielded and near-fielded technologies already found in programs of record.
Not only does CWID have an opportunity to demonstrate new technologies, but it's also a really great opportunity for existing technologies to come back and demonstrate a new development in the spiral development process.
It is the only U.S.-hosted coalition and U.S. C4ISR demonstration to evaluate interoperability. It provides 3 types of assessment that maximizes combined coalition interoperability, and CWID supports system lifecycle milestone decisions which allow services, agencies, and other stakeholders to efficiently allocate resources.
The CWID is a fantastic venue to get these programs to start looking at emerging technologies so they can sit there and they can do a fly-off between different capabilities, risk reduction with some of those capabilities so they can try something before they buy it, they can save resources, save money, big dollar impacts at the end of the life cycle of that program.
Taking more than a year to plan. It all begins with the release of a Federal Business Opportunities announcement in the spring that describes for industry those warfighter and agency problems that require industry's help in solving. Government sponsors gather in the fall for the Concept Development Conference to begin the planning. The planning continues throughout the year with an additional 3 planning conferences where industry links with its military or agency sponsors to define the requirements and establish the infrastructure needed to evaluate each of the technology offerings. CWID execution is conducted annually in the month of June. The event generally consists of approximately 40 interconnected interoperability trials assessed across multiple sites within and outside of the continental United States. The U.S. demonstration sites include U.S. Joint Forces Command at Suffolk, Virginia, Naval Surface Warfare Center at Dahlgren, Virginia, Space and Naval Warfare Systems Center Pacific at San Diego, California, U.S. Air Force Electronic Systems Center at Hanscom Air Force Base, Massachusetts, U.S. Northern Command at Peterson Air Force Base, Colorado. Additionally, demonstrations are hosted by Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
New Zealand's expectations for CWID are around participation, firstly, and secondly, gaining an understanding of what technologies are out there and what we can grab and take home to enable us to operate efficiently and effectively as a coalition partner.
We did not participate in a coalition-style technology development like this. We would not be of service to any coalition.
Our allied participation is a cornerstone of the CWID program and allows our coalition partners an opportunity to observe the latest in technologies and ensure that their current and emerging systems will be able to interoperate with U.S. core systems.
If you are not in the CWID, you will have old system and you will be more than surprised what kind of soft and hardware will be delivered to you to be in contact with your coalition partners.
The first week of June involves setup of the 5 U.S. sites. It's dedicated to ensuring that the interoperability trials are able to connect to the combined Federated Battle Labs network and have the appropriate connectivity to those core U.S. systems and other relevant systems prior to training week.
Setup week is making sure we're ready for execution. It's when the trials first come on site, so they've taken out all of our notes, all of our diagrams, figured out what kind of layout they're going to jump into.
What we do usually is connect the system to the network, anywhere from cabling to physically assigning IP addresses.
The second week of June is dedicated to training and preparing the warfighters and operators to use the technologies that will be assessed.
Training week is about figuring out how to test this software in a real-world application. And we are here to represent real-world entities in a real-world training scenario for evaluation purposes.
The vendors are here. We give them a half hour to an hour and a half. They explain their trial. We try to get some hands-on effort with them. And we try to train all of the people who are available on all of the trials.
The last 2 weeks of June are dedicated to the actual assessment and demonstration of the technologies. Using a simulated operational scenario to drive the process, the warfighters and operators put the technology through its paces while the assessors observe. It's also during this time that visitors are encouraged to come and view the technologies in operation.
That's the primary reason why we're here using this stuff, is to find out if this equipment, system, components, whatever it is we're utilizing and testing is going to be an effective tool with respect to conducting our wars both in the U.S. and abroad.
We represent different agencies, even different countries in the testing of the software. And we're learning how to interact with one another, how to interact with the systems, and then providing feedback.
The technology assessments that are conducted during CWID execution are the bread and butter of the entire demonstration. The results of these assessments are captured in the final CWID report and provide acquisition decision makers key data that allows them to make informed resource decisions.
When we bring in new products that are faced with answering challenges or gaps in our interoperability for the joint coalition or HSHD environment, we have warfighters that come in and test these products. What we're doing on the warfighter utility is that we're gathering questions for the warfighters to answer to make sure that these products are going to work for the warfighter.
The information assurance is performed with scans, network scans, and some penetration testing of the new technologies.
The technical is data. If it's exchanging data, does data make it from point A to point B, and is it usable at point B? I mean, that's the heart and soul of the technical assessment.
We encourage you now to review the U.S. CWID final report and see how well the technologies from this year's CWID performed.